For more on that, what does all this attention actually mean for Google?
Article, they say any price is good price, but the earnings release oops combined with the weaker than expected results seemed kind of like a double whammy. BuzzFeed President Jon Steinberg joins us now with more on what everyone was buzzing about this week. So the presidential campaign is this great opportunity to see stories go viral, but Pending Larry did pretty well.
Pending Larry was one of the most viral earnings release stories I think that I've ever seen. I mean, just the fact that it came out in the middle of the trading day, the earnings were not good, and then in the middle of this earnings release, which R.R. Donnelley puts out by mistake, it says, Pending Larry, quote. It was like tailor-made for an internet meme, exactly along the lines of Romney binders or Invisible Obama, and people just went wild about it. It really was an earnings release that went viral.
End of the day, good or a bad thing for Google?
I think definitely bad, and I'll tell you why, John. It's almost exactly like the botched Facebook IPO. When these things happen, and especially when the results are bad, so it was released in the middle of the day, it was a snafu, and then people had a snafu in the middle of the day with bad information in it, it's really hard to recover. I just looked at the stock. It's still down 9% from that event. So, we'll see. Hopefully for Google, this won't be as traumatic as it was on the Facebook stock.
And this is something everyone was talking about on Twitter, but Google has its own social strategy with Google+. What's going on with Google+ these days?
When you look at the Google business and you look at the maturation that you're seeing there and you see CPCs are down yet again, it's a company without a social strategy that now has a lagging mobile hardware company on top of it, further dragging down earnings. So they need social. I mean, social is the new starting point. Social is the future. I mean, it's nice that they now have devices to put Android on, but ultimately they need to figure out a social strategy for this company.
Let's now talk about a product that's getting a lot of buzz. Raspberry Pi. What is Raspberry Pi?
What is Raspberry Pi? So that's a great question. Raspberry Pi is exciting and interesting this week because of two elements. First of all, it's a non-profit company that makes a computer on a circuit board which sells for $20 or $30. That's it. And it allows you to do almost anything you can imagine. You can put a Wi-Fi chip in it. You can attach it to a wireless keyboard. It has an output that allows you to put it on a TV, and you're on the web for $20 or $30. It's a nonprofit that makes it. This week, they kept the price, doubled the RAM, and said that they're going to put out 4,000 of these units a day. This is the antithesis of the kind of polish that you see on the iPhone. This is part of the maker movement. People want to get their hands dirty with hardware now. I would love my young children to learn to download Linux and put something on it like I did with this.
So something a little bit retro there. Now, in the case of BuzzFeed, you're not just tracking where the buzz is. You're working with brands to get some buzz out there. You're working with Campbell's, and you've teamed up basically to get some animals in human outfits to try and sell more soup.
Well, it's a great thematic idea here. Campbell's has come out with a new soup called Campbell's Go, which is geared towards millennials. It comes in pouches and allows you to microwave it. And the whole theme behind it is so close. For example, they've got a Moroccan chicken flavor or a spicy chorizo flavor. And this soup is as close as you can get to it without getting the actual thing out of the authentic kitchen. So we've created, along with Campbell's and the media team at MEC, we've created these posts all about things that are so close but not quite there. So, for example, animals dressed up as humans. They look kind of like humans, they're acting like humans, but not quite close enough. And we've got a lot of content that's going to come out that's really going to resonate with millennials with a story that's going to make Campbell's really relevant to their lives and their on-the-go lifestyle.
I wonder what a Moroccan chicken would look like. Let's talk about something else.
Moroccan chicken flavor.
There you go. You know what I think is interesting? People think about likes or the responses to comments or how you comment socially these days. You guys are now going to music videos as responses, as when you want to weigh in on something. Tell us more about that.
Well, it's actually music as a response. Rdio, which is one of the leading online subscription music services, has partnered with BuzzFeed to allow people to react to any piece of content on BuzzFeed with a song. Which is pretty revolutionary, actually. So instead of saying that you think content is LOL or OMG or putting your text comment in how you feel about it, you can react with a song. So, for example, I reacted to several pieces of content today with the Korean hit song Gangnam Style because I thought that it was kind of wild and worth getting up and dancing horse style to. So now it's a whole new way to interact with content through song.
And is this, could this be a big business for music?
I think it can be, actually, because it makes music social and it makes music a way to communicate as opposed to just something that you listen to on your own or even listen to with your friends. It's a way of sending a message. It's almost like a play on the musical greeting card, except for the electronic age in social, routed over Facebook.
Interesting stuff. John, always good of you to join us. BuzzFeed President John Steinberg joining us.
Thanks,
Nick
John.
Cole, back to you.